Barely had time to sit down and fill up my coffee. Sit down.
Things pound their feet down there on the street, things without feet, like me and see me, oh what I see, things that amaze me, it fills my dreams when I sleep. A penguin that can fly, a penguin that can fly. Scurry by, pounding their feet while I touch the sky, sliding, gliding, without a care. They'll never know the wonders up here in the sky. I'm a penguin flying high, living life with no questions why. I wonder how the ground things carry on, never experiencing the beauty I adore. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Can fly.
Hello, my name's Zurzu Zyklin, and welcome to my channel. How's everybody doing today? Well, I pretty much gave up on this starship after seeing it fall apart so many times, barely even making an orbit. And I guess they did a launch the other day, a complete orbit, and I had a lot of other things I was doing as well. I didn't really jump on it primarily because I didn't expect it to do a full orbit and make it back in one piece. I guess it did for the most part. I mean, of course, the flaps burned up a little bit, and there was some scarring on the side from where the heat started to warp the bay door, but not enough that it made it not work. So they were able to deploy the PEZ Dispenser Starlink satellite system, which is kind of cool. Now, there was a little problem there towards the end, which I'll point out. I don't think it was a problem. I guess Elon Musk says that he removed heat shields in that section to stress it. So if that happened, it was, I guess, expected. I don't know if I would expect this, but...
Up on 90 seconds. We've got a pretty good crowd.
Oh, and I cut out all the beginning
Star
nonsense.
Factory here at Starbase. Looks like we're getting a quick TVC, that wiggle check.
It's my favorite view of the rocket.
Right under the launch mount. All right, so we've got crowds gathered out at Hawthorne, crowds gathered here at Starbase.
Super fun to see people getting to watch out on the front lawn now.
1 minute to go to launch. All right, so again, our hold point comes up at T-minus 40, not tracking any reason to stop there, so we should see us go right through that. All right, we are through T-minus 40. We are counting down. We're gonna let our flight director, Maciek Batura, take us the rest of the way. 30 seconds, the 10th liftoff of Starship.
You know, I still wonder if he chose 33 Raptor engines to kind of tick off all the conspiracy theorists.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Booster chamber pressure nominal.
All right, we're a little over 40 seconds into flight. 33 out of 33 Raptor
Avionics
engines.
power and telemetry nominal.
Getting good call outs, healthy systems on the booster as it starts to pitch over the Gulf. All right, we're a little over 1 minute into flight, about to pass through max Q.
Max Q.
All right, so we are through the period of maximum dynamic pressure, max stress on the vehicle as it continues to fly.
Our next major event is going to be hot staging, which is happening in just over 90 seconds from now. To get ready, the booster will shut down all but 3 of its Raptor engines. The clamps holding the 2 stages together will release, and the Starship second stage ignites its engines. The ship then separates from the Super Heavy booster and heads to space. At the same time, the 3 engines still firing on Super Heavy will flip the booster around. 10 more engines will ignite for the boost back burn, putting the first stage on the path for splashdown in the Gulf. As we mentioned earlier, the hot stage will be jettisoned for this flight, and that should occur just after the boost back burn. So we're about to shut down the first stage and perform hot staging. So let's just watch and listen.
Hello, Sirloin. How are you doing? Yeah, watching that pressure wave in the beginning was kind of neat. You know, we get so much better views off of this craft. That is one thing that is a
Seeing the engine
benefit
start to throttle down.
of this craft is it has such a big signature that it kind of makes a little hole for the transmission of the cameras, which the smaller crafts don't allow for.
Boost back burn startup.
Stage separation.
Stage separation
Good
confirmed. We've got
separation.
6 engines running on ship. Booster is doing its boost back burn, continuing now towards its splashdown site in the Gulf.
Ship
We have
Raptor
seen
chamber
all 6
pressure is
Raptors
nominal.
lit up on ship. You heard them report ship chamber pressures nominal, so that chamber pressure, just that expected thrust level in those Raptor engines on the ship. 3 vacuum optimized,
Ship
3 sea
avionics,
level,
power and
all
telemetry
looking
nominal.
good. There's a view into the business end from the ship.
Boost back burn shutdown.
Look at that, no curvature at all.
right, so at this point, we finished our boost back burn, so that was shut down. So that's the first of the 2 burns after a launch that the booster is going to do today. So now it's headed towards the
Hey,
Gulf.
there's penguin
It's not gonna be
control,
quite as
everybody.
aggressive
That's
of a flight
Tom,
down.
just
We
in case
relaxed
you're
that angle of
wondering.
attack a little bit.
Penguin
But we are
control
then going to be
to
looking for
Major
it
Tom.
to do
I guess
its
not major,
engine
but
tests for the landing burn. And those are going to be a little unique this time.
Yeah, typically we start with all 13 inner engines lit for that landing burn and bring that down to just the center 3. But one of our test objectives for today is to simulate what an engine out situation would look like. So we're going to be intentionally turning off one of those center 3 and instead lighting one of the engines from the middle 10 ring.
Yeah, we did see one of those engines in the middle ring shut
There
down
goes that
during the
ring.
initial asset. Oh, looks like we have hot stage jettison. You can see it
Yep.
floating away there to the left of the booster. Yeah, we did see one of those middle engines shut down during the ascent. Again, we are resilient to engine out on Super
Starship
Heavy.
flying
That's why we're
nominal
able to get
trajectory.
through our ascent.
see, this isn't a
Starship flying on
fully
the expected path.
this isn't a fully
There's still a chance that
reusable
engine
ship.
could
There
be
are a
back in the
couple of
mix for
parts that
the
they don't
very
plan to
start
ever
of the landing
reuse,
burn, so
and
we'll see if we light
that
up all
boost back
13.
ring would be one of
But
them.
we've even done a landing burn at the tower with an engine out. So very resilient. We'll see how it does on its way down to the Gulf, though. All right, so we got a couple of minutes. That landing burn start should be just about 40 seconds away.
Oh, I got to turn off the alarm. Hold up.
That's always rad. You can see the boost plume itself in the background as it was coming in. All right, about 20 seconds to landing burn.
Ship Raptor chamber pressure is nominal.
Yeah, we'll be
right,
taking
here we go.
penguin control to
Planning for
the
startup.
doctors today, so that's why I'm kind of running a little in
Looks
circles.
like we got 12 of those 13.
Down to 3, including one of the middle ring. Down to 2. Nice little hover. And landing burn shutdown. And into the Gulf, here we come. And the booster has splashed out.
Incredible.
There wasn't a
flight
buoy to
booster
watch that,
today.
but I'm sure it blew up pretty good when it hit that water.
Meanwhile, back in space, about 7 minutes into today's flight, ship continuing its ascent burn. This goes until just about 9 minutes into our flight. That ship engine cutoff is slated for 8 minutes and 57 seconds. We are going to see those 3 RVAC, the Raptor vacuum engines. Those are the bigger circles in that little indicator on the bottom right of your screen. Those will shut down first, and we continue burning for a couple seconds longer on those inner 3 before we hit SECO, or second engine cutoff.
Man, no curvature at all. You notice that?
Yeah, these views are looking great. Once again, thanks
You
to
know, there's
Starlink
a-
for getting us these views. It's just incredible.
Did anybody watch the final debate? I watched the final debate. It was pretty interesting.
just
It
heard the
seemed like
sound from
most
the
of the flat
we just-
earthers
we
had a
just
hard
got a-
time describing
late photo
flat
from the
without
booster.
using something that they say doesn't exist called a globe. I don't understand why you would have to use something that doesn't exist to describe something that
Yeah, we
does
have
exist,
ship
but it
engine
seems to
cutoff
be a
coming up here
requirement.
just shortly. And
But
as we
I learned
mentioned,
about a
today's flight
flat
test is
earther
not
that
an
sent
orbital
up
flight, but rather one that
25
demonstrates the
high
Starship's
altitude
orbital
balloons
capability.
with rectilinear lenses so
Entering the
that
final phase of this burn.
they don't have any curvature.
Under 30
And
seconds
unfortunately, on all 5 of his videos, he shows curvature. Even in his thumbnails, he posts curvature. I mean, I'm not going to say it's round, but it even seems like his evidence
to go.
shows
Shut down the
there's a good
vacuum engines.
possibility.
Ship engine cutoff.
We shut down those center 3. Successful ship engine cutoff.
Seco, baby. There we go. That's what we want.
Nominal orbit insertion.
All right, we just heard the call out for nominal orbital insertion.
All right, so ship is in space. There we go. We're seeing the flaps starting to move into a stowed position. That's why it looks like your camera's moving.
Yeah, exciting to see Starship safely in space, and super pumped to see all the team's hard work in action here today. And of course, as guaranteed, it's been an exciting day so far. We successfully lifted off right on time at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Thankfully, our weather was looking good today. Yeah, and booster.
Oh, wow.
we
I
had
didn't
a-
even notice that. Do you see that shadow that's going in a very straight line across the surface of the Earth? On the Earth, those are, what are they called? Oh, shoot, the triangle rays. My brain's not on it at the moment. But those are those, the triangle rays. Why can't I think of the name of the darn triangle rays? You guys know what I'm talking about when you look in the sunset and the rays are coming down from the sky. That's what they really look like.
soft splashdown in the Gulf, so ship continues on.
Yeah, ship able to complete its ascent burn all the way in. You can see some of the shadows start to creep as it's going to be eventually flying into an orbital nighttime. So we'll see some daylight start to go away. But ship is in orbit, completed its burn. And I mean, that's just the beginning. Now we've got a whole bunch more to go. So we've got some exciting demonstrations.
Crepuscular.
planned
Yeah,
while
that's
we're
right.
on
Darn
orbit.
it. Crepuscular
Yeah, right
rays.
there, we just saved the
My
FTS, the
brain
flight
just
termination
sometimes it
system.
can't
That's that
catch words,
automatic
and
flight
it's like
safety system
90
we have
degrees in
on
the
vehicle.
studio at the
So that is
moment.
now turned off while ship starts its coast period.
My lord.
We are coming up. Our next milestone is going to be the deployment of those Starlink simulators.
I have the air
We've got
conditioner
some
on. It's
payload
just not making
inside
its way
of
here yet.
Starship that we're hoping to deploy into space for the very first time. That deploy is supposed to start at about 18 minutes and 27 seconds into the flight, so just about 7 minutes from now. That deploy will take place over a couple of minutes. It'll go about one satellite a minute, so we'll be spread out over that. It might get a little dark, but we've got a couple of views that we can show you to see that deploy in action. After that, we're also looking to do a relight of a single Raptor engine while we are in space. We've done this once before. This is not necessary to deorbit as we are in a suborbital trajectory, but this is essentially a chance to test out what we need to be able to do a deorbit burn. So we'll be doing that a little bit later in the flight, about 37 minutes or so into the flight. And then we get into reentry. We're looking to get that light show and, more importantly, get that really critical data about the ship's heat shield.
Yeah, exactly. At about T plus 45 minutes, we'll be
Of course,
heading for
drinking
re-entry.
coffee probably
Again,
doesn't
running those
help.
experiments with the tiles. We're going to be doing
Gulping down
missing tiles,
coffee.
metallic tiles, and also intentionally loading those vehicles' flaps. Hopefully, we'll also see a splashdown in the Indian Ocean today.
Yeah, we were able to get to a re-entry last time, but we didn't have full attitude control, so we weren't able to go in, heat shield first the way we're designed to. So we ended up losing contact with the ship before we could make it all the way through. So you still get data, but you're not really getting the data that we want to make sure we're kind of stress testing the vehicle. As Amanda just said, we removed a bunch of tiles, and we do this in some intentionally scary places on the vehicle because we're really looking, are there spots that were vulnerable to this before we ever start moving towards, putting ship into a full orbital mission to then do re-entries a little bit later on. So really, really critical to get that data, really looking forward to a controlled re-entry.
Yeah, for sure,
I
as
don't
we
see
always
nothing
say,
that
our main
I'd be wanting to
payload is
ride
data.
yet.
But today we also have some actual payload on board, and those simulators that Starship will be deploying, we'll see coming up here in just a few minutes. These are dummy satellites that are about the same size as our V3 Starlinks. We have 8 in the Starship PEZ dispenser and expect to deploy at a rate of about 1 per minute, as Dan mentioned earlier. Starlink is critical in all of our flights on Starship to get our main payload data, as we always say. And in fact, it's Starlink that's currently providing these views you see as Starship cruises a couple hundred kilometers above our home planet and provides real-time telemetry through every phase of flight.
Yeah, we took a peek inside of the Starship payload bay there for a second. So there's 8 of them there. They kind of look just big steel plates, essentially. They're roughly the same size as those V3 satellites. When we do get that view inside of the payload bay, the payload door will kind of be on your right, and we'll start to see them go out like a PEZ dispenser. Yeah, here's a look inside. So those right down there in the center, they're kind
Leave
of
it
2
to
stacks of
Elon
4
Musk
on either
to
side.
call a
And then
part
the
of a
payload door is
spaceship
just
a
to
PEZ
their right.
dispenser.
And so we'll look to see that open.
Well, you know,
and then
my
those
guess
satellites start
is
to go.
that he
We
plans,
vent the nose
or
cone,
that he
so we
just planned
essentially bring
ahead.
it
People were
down
going to
to
call it a
vacuum
PEZ dispenser
before we
anyway
open the
because the
door.
way
That was one of the things we ran into on the last flight, as when we had that fuel diffuser fail, the pressure in the nose cone became basically too high for the actuator of the door to open. So that's why we weren't able to get the door open that time. We have not seen anything like that on this flight. Everything's looking good with our fuel tank and our fuel press system. So we are.
Yeah, when I
just
watched it
a
the
couple of
first time, this entire cabin was filled with chunks of ice floating around, and I wasn't aware when I watched it the first time that there was a pressure breach in a tank, which was leaking, shoot, is it methane? I can't remember.
minutes away from seeing that payload door open and getting to our first ever payload. It's not the first payload we've ever carried, but it's the first one we're going to try and shoot off into space.
Yeah, they've carried it a couple of times, but this will be the first time that
I
it
think
successfully
we're supposed
deployed.
to open the payload door in just about a minute and change. And you're seeing a little bit of residual gas. And
Some smoke.
we opened the door once. I want to say it was back on flight 3 when we were able to make it up into space. And you'll kind of see a lot of that gas rushing out into the vacuum of space. It's the residual that's left over after we've already vented it down. So kind of a cool light show. And then we'll get ready to deploy those payloads out. And as we mentioned, so we have crossed over now at this point into an orbital nighttime. So views from the outside will get pretty dark, but we'll see what we can see. We do this by design. We've been launching these later in the day here in Texas to try and get daytime views when we splash down.
Yeah,
So
the
it's
morning
daytime over in
landings.
the Indian Ocean, where we are currently headed.
Just a few seconds.
You want to
until
be
we
able to
expect those
see what's
payload doors to
happening when you're
open.
coming in for a landing with a test ship, that's for sure.
All right, one more time. Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
Hey, Hal finally worked.
So we are currently in payload deploy prep.
I think this is cool because he'll be able to deploy. Well, it's bad for astronomers because they're going to see a bunch of these little satellites floating
And
around the
door
Earth.
is open.
But he'll be able to deploy tons of them, making pretty much worldwide internet a true thing.
All right, so the payload door is open. We should see the first satellite start to deploy at about T plus 18 minutes and 27 seconds. So should be only about 30 seconds. So One step closer. Hal listened this time. He cooperated. He opened the payload door for us.
Let me explain what I mean by that. Satellites. So there is some internet access in Union Glacier right near the camp. But as you get a couple miles out from the camp where Will Duffy went to in the final experiment, there's no internet out there. However, there is Starlink, which is how they were able to get internet. And this will be across the ocean. In the middle of our oceans, we don't have internet access. Well, we will now.
There's a view kind of behind the Pez here, looking out into the vacuum of space.
About 15 seconds until payload deploy.
Ship has transitioned to payload deploy.
No, I'm not sure, but my guess is this test rack is probably one rack of a full system they plan to have in there later, because there's a lot of room for more racks. Here we go.
There we go.
Well, it's kind of slower and more mechanical than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I kind of pictured
a. Do that. There we go.
There goes another one.
Your imagination doesn't always meet reality.
Super exciting moment, as you can hear the energy in both Hawthorne and Starbase. Everyone's super excited for finally getting to deploy some of those simulated satellites.
Oh, come on, give us a bay door view
moving
out.
Down, next row. There we go. As we said, we're going to do about one every minute or so. And this is just kind of a dress rehearsal for when we're going to be deploying.
There's a
the V3
camera on that
satellites, and these are
outside
just
bay door. I really want to see that
massive,
from the
massive
outside.
increase
That would be cool.
to Starlink's capability. Each one of them has it's 60 terabits per second of capacity that's going to get added to the network per launch. That's 20 times more than what we're adding with every single Falcon 9 launch today, which, you know, step increase in capability. There goes another one.
Wait, did that one come back?
All right, so as we said, we've got 8 total that we're going to go through today. It's about a minute for each one, but looking good on payload deploy.
Hey, that one didn't quite deploy right.
All right, so we're about halfway through. when we actually start launching the V3 Starlinks on Starship, we're going to be flying about 60 each time. So it'll be about an hour to get through a full stack. But again, it's just going to be a massive increase in the amount of bandwidth. It's going to enable, gigabit upload, download for people with Starlink, anywhere on the planet. And for us, Starlink is just a tremendous part of just the Starship flight test program.
Yeah, absolutely. Always getting us that data, and yeah, the amazing views we have on the vehicle today.
Well, that rips.
Yeah, views brought
I
to you by
almost want
Starlink.
to email Musk. I want to see the bay door from the outside, man. There's a camera focused right on
another
it.
one firing out.
We saw this for the first few. Now switch us out and show us out there for the last few.
Pez looking smooth today.
It's the first time I've seen it operate. And I'm not kidding. I didn't watch this section of the launch. I caught later in. Like I said, I had pretty much given up on this Starship ever working. Oop, there's the glitches. It's all CGI. CGI.
All right, looks like we've got one left.
Almost there.
Now, what's going to happen with these? They'll just burn up in the
7
atmosphere.
of the 8 have been deployed. One more to go. And then we will have completed our first ever payload deploy operation. Just a reminder, we're on a suborbital trajectory. These satellites on that exact same suborbital trajectory, they're going to burn up entirely and are on that same trajectory towards the Indian Ocean. So the last one has been deployed. Starlink simulator payload complete. Heck yeah, everybody.
Loving the energy from Starbase and Hawthorne.
Yeah, they're so small. There's no question of whether those will
now
burn
it's
up
empty.
or not.
Looking a little lonely, but
Successfully deployed all the simulator satellites.
really, really cool to see them all out there. Again, people that have followed know Starlink's really critical
Nice dark outside.
for the Starship program, in addition to, getting all those views back from the cameras on Starship, which this is an external view. As I said, it's dark outside right now. The lights are off. So it's going to be hard to make stuff out. But in a little while, the sun's going to start coming up as we get to re-entry, which is going to be really critical.
Okay, I give them that. Then maybe that's why they didn't
we
show
use
us an
Starlink
external.
for Starship data. Cameras also use it on the cameras that we use to bring you views of these launches, and also hopefully of the reentry and
There goes
splashdown.
the bay door
we get from
closed.
the Indian Ocean today, and that's just kind of how it all comes together. Like, we're using Starlink on the planet, off the planet. With Starship, we actually get pretty insane. If you're in the space industry, bandwidth to space is usually pretty minimal. We get about 120 megabits per second. That's split between our high definition video and real time telemetry. We get that every phase of flight, including reentry. So it's not just giving us views of reentry, but we're getting all of that engineering data in real time through phases that it used to be
Things we were never be able to get
real
with the
time.
smaller
So just really
crafts.
incredible.
Yeah, Starlink definitely affords us all this capability. And reminder, it's the world's largest satellite constellation operating in low Earth orbit to deliver high-speed, low-latency broadband internet. This provides internet access to people all around the world, many of whom had never had connectivity before. Today, Starlink serves more than 150 countries, territories, and other markets with over 6 million active customers and counting. To meet the growing global demand for high-speed internet, SpaceX expanded its factory in Bastrop, Texas, and also introduced Starlink Mini, as well as an upgraded version of the Starlink Standard kit.
All right, now with payload deploy complete, pew, 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 Starship is now going to close its payload bay door and continue to coast
I thought it
towards
already
Earth,
did.
around Earth, towards the Indian Ocean. Sorry, I'm really excited today. We are in space, people. Still a lot of major events to come, though. We are looking to relight one of those Raptor engines at about 37 minutes, 33 seconds into the flight, followed by atmospheric entry, hell of a light show, and splashdown. So we're going to go on a quick break, take a quick coast, sit back, enjoy the views. A little bit dark now, but they'll get better soon. A couple of space jams. We'll be back in just a few minutes for that Raptor relight and then re-entry.
Of course, I got rid of their space jams, and I added some of my own space jams.
See you soon.
In Hagerstown, a star was born, Edmund Haley, through the dawn. With stars and comets he'd adorn the heavens where his dreams were drawn. Haley's starry path with vision clear, charting comets far and near. In their orbits year by year, a cosmic pioneer. To southern skies he sailed away, cataloging stars by night and day. In St. Helena's distant bay, the stars would guide his way. A comet's dance he did define, elliptical paths in the sky's design, predicting returns through space and time, his name forever enshrined. Charting comets far and near, in their orbits year by year, a cosmic pioneer. With Newton's work he saw the light, in purging truth through the darkest night, financing Principia insights bright, a friendship sealed in celestial might. Magnetic fields he mapped with care, geophysical wonders his to share, atmospheric secrets in the air, science beyond compare. Haley's starry path with vision clear, charting comets far and near, in their orbits year by year, a cosmic pioneer. As astronomer royal he'd command, navigating seas, mapping land, in the stars his legacy planned, Haley's path forever grand. Remember Haley's cosmic sight, heaven so vast and bright, as we journey.
Hello, GMK. You've been bitten.
With wonder shining light. Did rise, Edwin Hubble with curious eyes, from galaxies near to distant skies, he unveiled cosmic ties. Hubble's vision vast and clear, galaxies far and near, an expanding universe we revere, a cosmic frontier. At Mount Wilson with telescope grand, he mapped the stars, a guiding hand, discovering Andromeda so grand, a universe so planned. Redshift showed the galaxy's flight, away from us in endless night. Hubble's law and insight bright, the cosmos in its right. Hubble's vision, vast and clear, galaxies far and near. An expanding universe we revere, a cosmic frontier. No favored spot, he said with might. The universe expands in sight. In every direction, equal light. A cosmic dance in flight. Classifying shapes of galaxies wide in elliptical spiral strides. The Hubble tuning fork as guide. In starlit realms he'd bide. Hubble's vision, vast and clear. Galaxies far and near. An expanding universe we revere, a cosmic frontier. A legacy in telescope's name, exploring the universe's frame. Hubble's light, an eternal flame, in stars we see his fame. Hubble universe, a grand design, in space and time's entwined line, as we journey through the cosmic sign, with wonders so divine. In the city of Pisa, a star was born. Galileo, with mind so worn, through the lens the heavens adorned, a cosmic journey sworn. Galileo's lens revealing sights, challenging the cosmic night, with moons of Jupiter and Venus bright, a universe in new light. The moon's craters, rugged and grand, in his telescope, a new land. Stars and planets at his command, in celestial wonderland. Phases of Venus, proof so strong, against the geocentric throng. In starry messenger his song, the heavens rightful throng. Galileo's lens revealing sights, challenging the cosmic night, with moons of Jupiter and Venus bright, a universe in new light. Dialogue of worlds both old and new, heretical yet tried and true. In Rome's halls the conflict grew, the price of seeing through. House arrest, yet unbowed, Galileo's mind remained unclouded. With laws of motion he abode, in the stars he was proud. Galileo's lens revealing sights, challenging the cosmic night, with moons of Jupiter and Venus bright, a universe in new light. His legacy in the night sky's clear, a pioneer we hold dear. For Newton's laws we now revere, Galileo's guiding sphere. Galileo's lens so grand, in the vast celestial land, as we journey through the cosmic sand, with stars and planets hand in hand.
It is lightning below. Or wait. In a little bit you'll be able to see lightning. Right now you're just looking at stars, I think.
In Lancaster, a star took flight. Henrietta leave it in the night, with Cephate stars, her guiding light. She unveiled the universe so bright. Leave its light shining through, mapping stars with brilliance true. Her discoveries, a cosmic view, guiding
welcome
us
back,
to
everybody. If you're just joining us,
anew.
Starship just successfully deployed its first ever payload. We got 8 of those Starlink simulators
The music will
out,
stop in a
and
moment.
now we are expecting the relight of a single Raptor engines that should be coming up.
Or actually, I think I might have run the music all the way through that.
Just one of those Raptor sea levels in the middle there. This is not a deorbit burn. It's a demonstration of what we'll have to do.
It's just seeing it make a relight.
Right. We've done this once before. This is something we're really going to have to do when we're doing orbital.
Now that's going to be really cool because you see those three engines right in the middle. They're all three going to gimbal out, and then one of them will ignite for just a second.
It's a pretty critical test. We are
measuring distances
just a couple
far as
seconds
can
away.
be, unveiling cosmic mystery. Leave it slide.
Sorry, we're about 20 seconds away. So we got a little bit more time. So we are going to see one of those Raptor engines light back up.
A cosmic view, guiding us to worlds anew. In her catalog, star she chart with dedication and a steadfast heart.
That's so cool.
Her findings played a crucial part in expanding science art.
Of one of those Raptor
fame was
engines.
sparse.
Second time
Her
we've
work
done that.
was
Super
grand.
exciting. Huge congrats to the team on this milestone.
Understand.
Very exciting to
That was
see.
a cool light show. Yeah. I get to do a mini version here. So again, that's going to be really critical for when we're doing deorbit burns. Like as you're going through, which we don't have one of these. They're so much fun. But like you're able to actually light that engine, not set my co-host on fire, and that's what we'll eventually do to, break out of orbit, come back down to Earth. So
He's gonna turn on the fancy flashlight.
in space was our last in space.
Very exciting. We're going to be heading back for re-entry at about T plus 45 minutes. So we're going to take another quick break, and we will see you soon.
It had begun to understand the cosmic home.
Yeah, I think I made the decision that they bored me, so I just went ahead and let the music play.
Galaxy so vast and bright as we journey through the starlit night with wonder shining light.
And if you guys are wondering, all of these songs are available in the Astronomers. What was the name of that album? I have a full album of songs, as you guys know, about astronomy, its beginnings, all the way up to its current time. It's over in my playlist, which is what I'm looking at right now because I forgot the darn name of the album. Matter of fact, I'll post it, so if you guys want to watch it later. A Stargazer's educational album. It's 52 minutes of learning about astronomy. If you want to learn by music, that's a good album, I believe. Well, because I made it, but it gives a pretty clear picture. I'm not sure I know of any other albums that point out the astronomers of history.
A boy named Tycho Brahe saw the world anew. The heavens called his name one night in 60s gleam. A solar eclipse sparked his astronomical dream. With eyes on stars and planets, precise and never vain. He questioned models of the past, saw truth in clear domain. A supernova shone in Cassiopeia sky. Tycho saw the heavens change and wondered why. Tycho Brahe, explorer of the night, pioneered the skies with his unwavering sight. With Urani Borg's wisdom, he led the cosmic way, exploring the stars till the break of day. And then he built an observatory grand. Urani Borg rose a castle for his hand. The stars and planets mapped
It's Uranus
with
board, but
utmost
the
precision.
freaking robot can't say it right.
Mars's path revealed his data's clear vision. A hybrid of the cosmos, Tycho's model stood. A daring mix of old and new where science understood. Sun and moon to earth, the planets to the sun. Though flawed in part, it showed his work was never done. Tycho Brahe, explorer of the night, pioneered the skies with his unwavering sight. With Urani Borg's wisdom, he led the cosmic way, exploring the stars till the break of day. Amid the royal
Let me go get
struggles,
something in Tom's belly real
he
quick.
found another land. With Rudolph's hand in Prague, his work continued grand. Johannes Kepler joined, their minds a brilliant blend. Tycho's charts and Kepler's laws, a legacy to stand. In the shadows of Uranus, Tycho's spirit soared. His legacy in data as the universe explored. Kepler's laws and Newton's might, Tycho set the stage for future minds to uncover the cosmic page. Tycho Brahe, explorer of the night, pioneered the skies with his unwavering sight. With Urani Borg's wisdom, he led the cosmic way, exploring the stars till the break of day.
Yeah, as I said in the beginning of this show, I'll be taking Tom to the doctors today, so. Is this playing? Yes, okay. Now that, I believe, is a front flap system. I'm
All right,
determining
so
it by its
we
shape.
are back. We are about 45 minutes into the 10th flight test of Starship. And
this
as you
is
can
this
see, the
rear
light show has
flap
started.
system. It
Re-entry has begun. We are starting
pulls
to
apart.
re-enter the
Like,
Earth's
I mean,
atmosphere. We're moving
they're going to have to
about
do
5
something
times the
about
speed
this
of
flap.
sound, and we're about to start barreling through the Earth's atmosphere and head for a splashdown in the Indian Ocean. We don't plan to recover the spacecraft today.
No.
But if we do make it all the way down to the water, who knows? But the goal of this part of the flight is to learn as much as we can about the ship's heat shield. A fully reusable, rapidly reusable heat shield for a spacecraft has never been done before. It's one of kind of the hardest engineering challenges still out there for us. And so this is a time to really dig in and get that data.
Yeah, absolutely. And reentry is a critical phase of flight, so we'll need information on how the ship's system end up performing. And Starlink will also help us gather as much data as possible, which is really the main reason why we do these flight tests. Starlink provides us with one more path to collect data to help us rapidly iterate on Starship's design. And if the ship manages to make it all the way to reentry,
And I believe
we'll
that's
collect
the front
valuable
flap.
data on the spacecraft flying through the Earth's atmosphere at hypersonic speeds or more than 5 times the speed of sound.
Yeah, throughout history, a lot of times this is when you go into just a complete data and insight blackout, where that plasma sheath builds up around the outside of the spacecraft that blocks all of your signals that are trying to fight through to talk to either satellites out in space or towers down on the ground. Starship's big size kind of gives us awake, but what really helps us punch through is the fact that
Now,
we're using Starlink.
boom.
We're operating at just a much higher frequency.
That's not good, but
That's
I guess
not what we want to
it's
see. So we just saw some of the
because they
aft
removed
skirt
part of the
just take a hit.
heat shields, but that's not something
So
we
we've
want.
got some visible
for-
damage on the aft skirt. We're continue to re-enter though. And again, we are intentionally stressing the ship as we go through this. So it is not guaranteed to be a smooth ride down to the Indian
Just
Ocean.
imagine
We've
if you
removed a
rolled
bunch of
back time
tiles,
to
kind
the
of critical
60s when we
places
first
across the
started our
vehicle.
space
So
missions.
seeing stuff like that
Now,
is
when we
still
sent
valuable
up
to
those
us. We are trying to
Apollo
just kind of push this
rockets, when we
vehicle
set up
through
those
us
Saturn
to learn
V
its
rockets,
as
man, we
design our
tested those
expert
things so well that when they went up, they went up good. There was
47
really
minutes, 45
no major
seconds into the flight. Excited, picking up a little bit of
orbital
re-entry already.
malfunctions, and most certainly not any,
This re-entry,
malfunctions, as many malfunctions as Starship has had.
plan splashed
Can
out,
you
so
imagine if
splashed down
this was the
about
practice
1
that
hour
they
and 6
used back in the
minutes into the flight.
60s to test a ship, launch it 10 times or 7 times and burn it up in our atmosphere?
There are obviously no runways or other humans to help us out.
I
So we are
think that the
doing
people in the
propulsive landing
60s probably
instead
would have
for
said,
traditional
yeah, it's not
oxygen
worth it,
solutions.
man.
And
And we would have
propulsive
never
landing
made it to the
enables us
moon
to have more rapid
if
reusability
this
with these
was the
vehicles.
testing that we did back then.
Yeah, the ship
Just
itself
throw it up
is
there and see if it
a little over
works.
50 meters tall. We've got those 6 engines on board, the 3 vacuum, the 3 sea level, and they're down in that aft skirt
85
region,
kilometers,
which
flaps have control.
all right, so at this point, the flaps have control. That means we're getting into a dense enough part of the atmosphere that the flaps can start controlling us. We're not only reliant on those kind of reaction control system thrusters.
We're going to continue hearing some callouts as the ship makes its way back to Earth. So when we hear entry max heating and entry max Q, that will mean the ship has made it through the maximum heating and aerodynamic loads it will
And I'm not
experience
kidding.
as it
Just
returns.
imagine if the people
So
in
if
the
it makes it through
60s could
those,
just take a
we can say
moment
we're doing pretty well.
or to see
I will say I'm happy re-entry
the
cleaned off
Apollo
this camera
craft
for us.
fail
It was a little
10
dirty from the
times
weather,
and then
so
say,
thank
hey,
you,
now we're
Plasma, for
sticking
giving us
humans on
this
it because
view
it
as we
works.
start coming
Quote,
down. The hit we saw to the skirt, definitely interesting. I will note, when we started doing these missing tile tests, we were intentionally removing them only in the skirt, as that's, that's not over your fuel tanks or anything else that's kind of structurally critical for keeping the entire vehicle together. That obviously exposes your engines, so that could do some things for our landing burn. But for now, we are obviously continuing with this reentry. We are committed. Indian Ocean, here we come. 50 minutes since launch. We're going to see those colors start to build up a little bit.
that
We are at the
plasma is
point
really
where
cool.
we're in dense enough atmosphere that the flaps have control.
And that's good. So they're going to do a little bit of a flap dip here.
It's all about 74 kilometers in altitude. And you were starting to see some sunlight, so we intentionally time these launches right now so we have daylight. The sun should actually come up over the horizon on Starship in about 3 minutes. So as we get a little bit further into this reentry, that inky black below you is going to start to look like clouds and hopefully a bright blue ocean as we make our way down onto the other side of the planet.
Yeah, there's what I'm talking about. Every single launch, that wing falls apart.
We've got these cameras. These cameras are really cool. We added these several flights ago, looking directly at the flaps as not just the heat shield, but these
It's that
flaps, how
last
they're able to
hinge.
control the
He's gotta
vehicle,
figure out
withstand
something about that final
that
hinge.
reentry, the seal locations, so kind of where they connect to the ship itself are some of the most critical. We will do missing tiles on those where, again, we're trying to, we're kind of being mean to this starship a little bit. We're really trying to put it through the paces and kind of poke on what some of its weak points are. I mean, we even have missing tiles over some of those fuel tank sections of the ship itself. And so we're really trying to see what are our limits. We're doing this over a completely empty area over the Earth. Look at our Raptors there. We are, assuming we make it all the way down to the ocean in one piece, we will attempt a flip and a landing burn. We do have at least one buoy, everybody's favorite camera person, out in the Indian Ocean right now, being powered by Starlink. So that's at our planned landing location. So if we're able to get any live views of the ship, that'll essentially tell you that we nailed
We
our
made
target.
our landing.
Able
If
to
we
do
get
that
the buoy
on our
images,
sixth flight
then
test,
we
do it in the daytime, which was
are
really
roughly
exciting.
where we wanted to hit. Plasma's filling that Raptor.
All right, so we're about 10 minutes until we're probably going to start hearing some of the other big milestones coming up.
Yep, in about 10 minutes, like Dan said, Starship will be transonic. This is going to be the period of flight where the velocities of airflow surrounding and flowing past the vehicle
Hey,
are
there
concurrently
comes
below,
daylight.
at, and above the speed of sound, so somewhere in the range of Mach 0.8 to 1.2. For reference, commercial jets have a range of cruising speeds, but most of them fly at speeds between Mach 0.74 and Mach 0.85, so that's 480 to 575 miles per hour or 770 to 930 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, and after transonic comes subsonic. That just means you're slower than the speed of sound. We're still well in excess of that right now. But by the time we hit subsonic, we're essentially belly flopping down. There we go. There's that sunlight. So we're seeing the Earth now come back into view. One of the other things we're doing during this, and you're going to see Starship kind of pitch in some pretty, not extreme ways, but a little extreme, as we're trying to really stress the structure of it, of the ship itself, specifically those aft flaps, so the ones in the very bottom of the vehicle. We're pushing not just how well does the heat shield hold up, but how well does the ship structure hold up. We are pushing it beyond essentially what we think we'll have to fly at to do something like a return to launch site. So again, may not be a very smooth ride downhill, but we're doing that by design. We're really trying to find what are the edges that we can operate at, build up a good data set. But sun is up, clouds.
I don't know if he
down
really
below us.
explained what was coming
We are
up.
just about 10
Once we
minutes
get
away, a
through
little
the
less than 10 minutes
plasma
now,
field and we're
till we
into a
start hitting
subsonic flight,
transonic and then
they're
subsonic.
going
Once we hit
to
subsonic, we're basically just belly flopping.
move the bottom flaps around. A flap dip is what it's called, and they're going to basically swing the bottom of the rocket back and forth to test to see if they can break it. Of course, they have to get through the plasma cloud first.
All right, so about 55 and a half minutes in, you can see the sun is up. Again, we intentionally designed these flights
I can't
to
wait.
lift off in the evening here, so we
I
get
can't
these
wait
daylight
until they
views so
show
we can get
images of that
as
bay door
good
opening
a video
and the
as
little
possible
Starlinks coming
on
out
the
of
ship,
it.
assuming we make it all the way down. We've got
Kinda
at least
like a
one buoy
Star
powered
Trek.
by Starlink that's out there. in the landing zone in the Indian Ocean, hopefully giving us a view again. If you see any live views, not from the ship itself, that means we nailed our landing target.
Starship is past peak heating.
All right, we just heard the call out that we're past peak heating, so things are looking good so far.
Yeah, looking good. And at this point, again, the flaps are controlling. So this movement you're seeing is that forward flap moving to try and just maintain control, maintain attitude of the vehicle as we're coming down.
Now, I already noticed by the bay door, the last time we were coming in, there was a rainbow colored burn on the metal and that was part of what I think stopped the bay door from opening. I don't see it. So it seems like they used to have angular heat shields along the side there.
Checking in on one of our flaps.
But now it seems like
on
flattened
all
them
four of the
out and
flaps, two in the
smoothed
front,
them
two in the
out,
back,
and I think
giving
that
us
helps.
really good close-up views.
See how now it's all
As
straight instead of angled.
We obviously don't have a camera that can see
angular
the entire heat shield.
edges.
These give us kind of the best that we can do. But looking at those flaps is really, those are just, super critical for controlling the ship. You have some ability to maneuver kind of cross range. So as you're coming in, you can see in that indicator at the very bottom right that we've pitched up quite a bit. So again, we are maximally stressing those aft flaps right now.
Yeah, they got to figure out that last or
So
that
we got a little bit of
final
burn
hinge
through
on that flap.
the very bottom part of it. Everything's still looking good. Ship maintaining control.
We can't have something like that when we enter Mars. We can't have any. If we do take this ship to Mars, we can't have any little errors like that. Because there's nobody to help them there. There's no recovery. They're going to have to make it there. They're going to have to make it there more than once and then make it back. But yeah, they can't have that happening at all. Oop, bye hinge. There goes the hinge. It's still stuck to the side of the ship.
A little bit toasty on the aft skirt of the vehicle as we continue coming in.
Again, we are intentionally stressing the flaps so we can learn all we can.
Oh, you didn't need.
All right, so now we're already well past peak heating.
I think I need socks, so.
Okay.
Just about 48, 49, counting down to 48 kilometers in altitude. Expecting that transonic to come, so transitioning between the speed of sound and subsonic lower than the speed of sound in just a little under 4 minutes from now. And right now we've got kind of a lot of forward momentum, a lot of forward velocity, and then eventually by the time we hit subsonic. All right, here we go. So this is what we've been talking about, where we are going to essentially try to fully deploy those aft flaps and really stress them out. So again, this is meant to test the extremes for the vehicle. All right. See those flaps swinging out? Again, we're putting ship through the ringer on this flight in. It's like we're still maintaining control. All right, flaps earning
Trying
their
to
paycheck
rush to
today,
get Tom's socks
getting
on.
through
I
kind of
punched
that
him in
max
the
stress and-
ankle. Abuse.
Definitely things looking good so far. We're about 2 minutes out now from Starship becoming transonic.
One cool thing to note as we get some of those views showing.
Did we
kind
do
of
the little dippy
whole
thing
length
while
of
I
the
was
ship,
gone? Did I miss it?
one of the changes we made after Flight 6 was to change the tile line a little bit. So we had kind of
Oh, now
scaled
he's gonna
back the number of
explain it.
tiles significantly. As when we go to catch these ships, you don't want to. I think as Elon said, you don't want to shuck the ship as you catch it and knock all those tiles off. So we knew we were going to have to kind of peel back that layer a little bit. And the first time we did it was on Flight 6, and we saw kind of wrinkling and dimples almost in the ship as we were creating these hot spots in the uneven parts of the heat shield. And so
I could see that coming
kind of
down in
addressed that. We
Mechazilla to
smoothed it out.
catch
That's why
it,
you've got kind of that
and
nice
it just
smoothed
kind of
out
like
black line now
strips the
on the ship. And
heat
just looking at
shielding
it,
off
we
the
can see
side as it comes
kind
in.
of a little bit of hot spot, a
That
little
wouldn't be
bit
good.
of warping almost. Near the payload door, you can see a little bit of colored patina up above it, but we don't see those kind of deep,
No.
almost,
There were
they
big
almost look
purple
like gouges
burns. Yep.
on that. So it looks like that's been pretty successful. So, all right, we are less than a minute away.
There's a little
from
bit,
hitting
but it
transonic.
seems like it did
Again,
pretty good.
Pretty soon, our forward velocity is going to look like it's kind of falling off a cliff, and Starship will look like it's falling off a cliff as we essentially go into our belly flop. If you watched some of the high altitude tests or suborbital campaigns, we were able to test that. It was a pretty fundamental, like, can this thing actually fly?
Now, as
and we were
far
able
as
to prove
stainless
that out with that
steel,
suborbital
why
campaign.
is it
And that's what
the
we're
only
about to
rocket
see
that's not made of a
shortly here.
carbon composite? And the answer to that is he wanted to limit heat shielding, and this big of a rocket would require an entire encapsulated heat shield if it was made of composite. Steel has a higher Curie point, so steel is a better idea, but it makes for a very heavy starship.
All right, so at this point, we've dropped below the speed of sound. So
Cool. I think we're going to do the flap
Starship
dip now.
itself
Unless
is subsonic.
I don't think I missed it.
We are starting to chill the engines.
I believe once it gets
for a
down to
landing burn
subsonic
attempt.
is when they do the little wave.
Landing flip supposed to start in a little over 2 minutes. Subsonic Indian Ocean, we're on our way.
Starship is subsonic.
There we go. Farewell, space.
Man, that wing's barely holding together. Hey, somebody
So
over
coming
there.
up in just a little under
got
2
some
minutes. So we're going
pieces.
to do the flip and the burn. So we're only using those 3 center Raptor engines, the sea levels, the ones that can kind of gimbal, that can move around and steer. Dipping the nose down a little bit. Got 2 of our engines chilled in, waiting on 1 more. So again, we'll attempt to use 3 burns for that initial flip. We eventually go down to just 2 Raptors for the end of the landing burn.
Just about 1 minute now from that landing flip and landing burn start.
Man, plasma sure made that camera dirty, didn't it?
Structurally, we're looking good. Got good pressures in our nose cone for everything. Just about 30 seconds. So again, we're going to look for the flip. So Starship's doing its belly flop right now. We're going to do the flip. Swing out Let's punch through some clouds first.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Starship landing burn startup.
Seeing 3 engines. There's our flip.
Yeah, I did miss this press pass.
There's a buoy. There's a splashdown.
Now that's expected. Big hot rocket with a lot of fuel falling onto the ocean. Expected to blow up.
Oh man, yeah. Farewell, ship 37. Thank you, buoy
Not quite
cam.
seeing those reusable
Landing
parts
flip,
yet.
landing burn, splash out of the Indian Ocean. There we go.
And I'm going to go ahead and pull it here because I still have to get ready, the rest of the way ready to get Tom out to the doctors. As always, you guys are awesome. Remember, you don't have to be wise. Just don't submit to stupid. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Ground things, pound the feet. Down there on the street, things without feet. Like me, made out of see. Oh, what I see, things that amaze me. It fills my dreams when I sleep. A penguin that can fly. A penguin that can fly.
Hello, Cody. I'm laughing because the show's just ending.
That's why you will find me up there with the birds that have wings. Up there I can see things not seen by ground things. Up there in the sky.
By the way, I'd like to introduce you to Penguin Control. That happens to be
down below me, the ground they scurry by pound. The birds flying wild and free, see things that no one else can see. High above, away from the debris. Down below, the brown things scurry by.
Hey, Dr. Nimrod.
Pounding their feet while I touch the sky, sliding, gliding without a care. They'll never know the wonders up here in the sky. I'm a penguin flying high.
Yeah, it kind of goes with Penguin Control to Major Tom.
Penguin that can fly.
And I guess with Dr. Nimrod and you here, it's probably interesting to mention that tomorrow I plan to. So you guys have heard me mention that we don't know the cause of gravity, and I haven't really went into great detail about that. And I was having a discussion on a friend of mine's channel, or somebody, an internet acquaintance channel, Radical Coder. And, you know, I didn't really want to, when you start seriously challenging somebody on the W and Z bosons and you know the gluons and stuff like and photons, it really starts. You end up getting in a fight because they're not really grasping where you're going with it. So I figure instead of really starting a fight that night, it'd be better just to, like mention it as best I could without going into the um, intermediate bosons and things like that. But I have a show planned tomorrow where I'm going to show that as a short bit of that interaction so that you guys understand why I'm going on about bosons. And I have a little explanation I wrote about how all of it began. If you think you know about gravity, it's probably good to come watch tomorrow's show. And then after that, I'm releasing that live.
Batman's back in town, Penguin.
Laggy penguin at the end.